Hey there, it's another beautiful day. Let's watch some stuff.
America, I need your help. I'm confused. I'm a Brit in the Appalachian Mountains for the first time.
Josh, welcome to Appalachia.
And everybody, right, who's American keeps commenting one thing to me. They keep saying this: if you hear or see anything, no you didn't. What does that even mean?
When people say, if you hear something, no you didn't, they're warning you to ignore anything unusual, especially at night. Think of it like the Fey lore back home. Don't engage, don't investigate, and definitely don't respond if you hear your name. As one comment said, if it sounds far away, it's too close. If it sounds close, it's already behind you. Keep walking, get inside before dark, and lock the doors. These warnings aren't just for fun, they're for survival. Here's the thing, Josh. Appalachia isn't just beautiful, it's mysterious. These mountains have seen centuries of unexplained happenings, from cryptids like Mothman and skinwalkers to voices calling your name, or even stairs appearing in the woods. This is no ordinary hike. Locals say don't whistle, don't sing, and don't look too hard into the trees. If it feels like someone's watching, act like they're not. As one commenter put it, you didn't see it, you didn't hear it, just keep walking. It might sound wild, but out here, curiosity really can be deadly. So, Josh, now you know. The Appalachian Mountains aren't just about stunning views and fresh air, they're a mix of folklore, mystery, and unexplainable events. When you hear something strange, don't acknowledge it. When you see something odd, no, you didn't. This place is ancient, older than bones, and holds secrets we may never fully understand. Stay safe out there, mate, and maybe stick to daylight hikes. We'd like to keep hearing from you.
There are so many fantastic conspiracy theories and ghost stories and demon tales surrounding the Appalachian Mountains, and today we're fulfilling a request from one of our very own. Ooh, I have an idea. Let's do a quick shameless plug. Because our request today came from our very own Anaya Young, who is also a small YouTube creator. He puts out silly shorts and stuff like that. So give him a little bit of your time, check him out. And if you have any suggestions for topics you'd like to cover, let me know in the comments down below. One more time, Anaya Young, thank you so much for this fantastic suggestion. Thank you so much for sticking around for this week's shameless plug. Now, let's get into some Appalachian Mountain stuff.
There's a reason why you close your curtains at night in Appalachia, and I'm getting ready to show you why. If you haven't noticed yet, a lot of people in Appalachia have trail cameras up, and usually that's because they hunt and they're watching deer on their property, or some people have a lot of livestock, cattle and horses and things like that. But what they don't expect to see is something that's otherworldly pop up on their camera. Sometimes you capture things like this. This is clearly what appears to be a woman. You can make out the long flowing dress, which appears to be a light color, but we're unsure. But there's no reason a woman would be out in the middle of the forest at night in a long dress. It appears to be a longer dress like they would typically wear 100 plus years ago. But again, I don't want to sound redundant, but you guys know my theory, demons are ghosts. There's no such thing as a ghost. And if you zoom in, you can actually see what appears to be a head, although it's not as clear as the rest of her body. Let me know in the comments what you think, and if you have any paranormal evidence you would like to share, my email is listed in my bio. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. God bless.
Now, I'm not saying that that's not a ghostly apparition of a woman from 100 years ago. But what I am saying is that I'd like to see that trail cam on any other time. Like, was that already there? Or did it just kind of look creepy in that particular instance? I'm being skeptical, I'm sorry. Some things I'm just like, maybe not. It looked kind of like a tree stump. Now, if I could see that same trail cam and when the thing is like not there and then suddenly it is there, then maybe it's not there again, I would seriously rethink my rationale here.
I was just out on the mini bike and what do I see? A deer!
That's a weird looking deer. Or maybe it's not. Throughout Appalachia, people have encountered something that looks like a deer, but there's something off about it. So they call it the not deer. Now, there are a couple theories as to what it might be, and I'll let you know what I think at the end of the video. According to the stories, people who have seen these things think it's a deer, but when they get closer, they can tell that it's something else. Some accounts report intelligent human-like eyes, more like that of a predator. even extra eyes, as well as sharp teeth. Their body proportions are all wrong too, and some report that they have a human-like torso. They also have the ability to walk on their hind legs, which are often misshapen and they bend at unnatural angles. Their movements are often jagged and aggressive, and if they see you first, they may move towards you with an unnerving precision. Some think they're actually skinwalkers, wendigos, or some kind of cryptid. However, skeptics think that what people are seeing is actually deer with chronic wasting disease, a prion disease that affects the brain. Now, I think that explanation makes a lot of sense, but there is some strange stuff that's reported in Appalachia. People are seeing these deer-like creatures that don't have the hallmarks of chronic wasting disease. They're something else entirely. I think it's possible that people are seeing some kind of creature. Maybe a mutated species perhaps, or something supernatural.
In the comment that Anaya Young left requesting this particular topic, he said he was sitting outside, which is dumb, in the middle of the night, dumb again, in the Appalachian Mountains. That's a trifecta. And thought he saw a deer. There's not deer out there, apparently. And I've heard of this chronic wasting disease, and it sounds absolutely terrifying. I've also heard of, like, rabies, and is it kind of like that? I don't know, but it's really, really creepy to see a deer suffering from this particular ailment. Or maybe it's a cryptid and dumb. Don't sit outside in the middle of the night at the Appalachian Mountains. Come on.
What I'm about ready to show you is why you don't go roaming around Appalachia unprepared. Right here is the reason why when you're out in the mountains in Appalachia, if something calls your name, you don't respond. If you hear something whistle, you never whistle back. And why you always close your curtains at night. You guys know my theory, and I don't go into detail in every video I post, but I believe all of these paranormal beings, which according to culture, I think people would refer to this as maybe a Wendigo or Wendigo. But at the core, I believe it's just another paranormal entity that is demonic, but it takes this form, a Wendigo. They are known to be having a craving for human flesh. So this is out roaming around in Appalachia and many other places. Take a closer look. You can see this thing. He walks bipedal like a human on two legs. Very long arms with what could be claws, long claws, and the elongated head, nose, glowing eyes. It's definitely not human. It's not a deer. It's not a bear. So I want to know what you think.
Now, if you've been here for any amount of time, you know that I don't believe in ghosts and I don't believe in demons. But I do have fear of unknown things. And I believe in unknown things that are not ghosts and demons. Perhaps beings crossing over from another timeline or another dimension, or, interdimensional light beings, because I'm obsessed with them. But we've also been listening to a story at the end of every episode for the last little while now, and if they're craving flesh, what if it's them? What if it's them? And they're like sampling the wares or something prior to the arrival? I don't know. That's still scary. That's still pretty scary.
The Death Crown, or Angel Crown, is one of my favorite pieces of Appalachian folklore. These little spiral clumps or crowns of feathers with the quills all facing the inside are sometimes found inside the feather pillows or inside the feather beds where someone has died. Now, the lore surrounding the death crown varies, but one of the most common versions is that they are a sign the individual that has passed away has made it to heaven. So it wasn't uncommon throughout Appalachia to find one of these death crowns framed in a glass case with the date of death and the name of the individual that died, so that everyone could see their loved one made it through the pearly gates.
Well, that wasn't exactly what I thought that story was going to be. I thought it was going to be much more dark and sinister, but nice little uplifting story in the Appalachian Mountains. I cannot say it that way. I have to say Appalachia. I'm from California. It's how we say it here. Well, probably wrong, and that's okay.
In the heart of a mountain hidden from plain sight, lies a mystery. This video reveals an eerie, abandoned structure tucked deep within a mountain cave. Some speculate it could be an old military base, while others believe it's a secret laboratory or even a forgotten government bunker. Its concrete walls seem unnervingly intact, raising questions about who built it and why it was left behind. No one seems to know its exact location, adding another layer to the mystery. But what's truly unsettling is the lack of information. No historical records, no clear signs of its purpose. Commenters suggest everything from underground experiments to hidden government operations. Could this be part of a Cold War-era facility? Or something far more secretive? Until someone dares to venture inside, the truth remains buried, both literally and figuratively. What do you think this place was used for?
I don't think that one's actually in the Appalachian Mountains. I've seen that before, but I don't think that's where it was. If that is actually there, let me know. Prove me wrong, because I'm okay with that.
Have y'all ever heard of the Brown Mountain Lights? The Brown Mountain Lights are a mysterious phenomenon reported over the Brown Mountain Range, which is in western North Carolina and Appalachia. So they're described as dancing orbs that can move or float above the ridge. It can appear in many colors, mostly white, red, blue, or like a yellow tint. They hover, disappear, and then reappear again. They're most often seen on clear, warm summer evenings shortly after dark. The lights have been investigated 3 times by the United States government, countless times by private groups, and they're often studied by the students at Appalachian University. They were even featured on an episode of X-Files in 1999. A U.S. Geological Survey was conducted in 1922, which determined that the orbs were caused by distant headlights and brush fires. Several similar studies conducted over the last century have all concluded in equally unexplainable explanations. Some of the earliest reports may have came from the Cherokee and Catawba tribes, early settlers, and Civil War soldiers. According to Cherokee legend, around 1200 AD, a great battle was fought between the Cherokee and the Catawba at Brown Mountain, and the mysterious lights are from the maidens still searching for their men who were lost during the battle. Have any of y'all ever experienced this mysterious phenomenon?
You don't know this, but I just spent the last 30 minutes trying to find a previous episode where we talked about something like this happening somewhere else, and I couldn't find it. And my brain won't do brain things to try to remember the name of the city that we talked about. But we did talk about it, and it's kind of the same thing, how those orbs, pop up there, and they've been researched, and I seriously doubt they're headlights, especially if they're back in, lore. There's no headlights in lore times, so... maybe it's aliens. Maybe it's a hub. Or we're aliens. Do alien things.
This frickin' thing, it's staring at me. It followed me home from the gifting rock. It's about 1 o'clock in the morning right now. I think I don't know what to do. But, it followed me home and it is absolutely staring at me right now. Have a look. Okay. Get the other side. Oh, damn. Holy shit. All right. Oh, damn.
No thanks. Not doing it. I'm sure it's probably just an animal or many of animals. No, not at night. No, go back inside. Turn on all the lights. Cover your head in the blanket. You'll be fine. Don't do that. No, can't pay me enough to go outside in the dark where there are things that live. No.
Okay, all jokes aside, Appalachia really does have the scariest shit. Did you know there's a plot of land in Appalachia that is so haunted? They have a plaque commemorating getting rid of the demon. And I only know about it because I did so much research for this week's episode, but I literally can't sleep now. So this ill-proportioned man is Adam Livingston. In the 1700s, he was tormented by a poltergeist in his home after he buried a stranger in an unmarked grave on his property. What did you think was going to happen? Legend has it that one night in West Virginia, a traveling stranger came to Adam's place and told him that he was dying. He asked for a priest to be fetched for his last rites, but Adam wouldn't go get one. AKA, his wife was like, please don't leave me alone with this man. So the stranger died, but Adam didn't even know his name, so he just buried him in an unmarked grave in the back of his yard and got back to work. And that's when it just went full conjuring in his home. He came outside to see that his chickens had randomly been beheaded. Adam said at night it sounded like there was a horse upstairs, like that's how loud the stomping was. But one night, Adam has a dream, and in the dream, he thinks he sees the man that can help him. And the haunting stopped after he went and got this man, who ended up being a Catholic priest like the stranger wanted. They blessed the grave, and if you visit, you can see where they marked his burial site.
Yeah, that's a super scary story. That's pretty creepy. Good thing it got settled, right? But that's scary.
So you know how they're constantly telling you on TikTok to not look in the trees? Well, this is one of the reasons why. But before I tell you, hi, my name is Ashley and I talk about crime, creepy, and unbelievable stories. So if you're into that, check out my TikTok and YouTube, the links are in my bio. So Appalachia is known for having dozens of cryptids and even more creepy stories about what happens out in the woods. It takes up quite a large portion of the United States and even crosses into Canada. One of the reasons they're telling you to not look into trees is because of these guys. They're called devil monkeys. Of course, there's no actual proof, but there are dozens and dozens of stories. They're described to look very much like a primate, but they're also said to have a very unusual snout. It almost resembles something like a dog. They're also said to stand somewhere between 5 and 8 feet tall. And they switch from walking on all fours to jumping on 2 feet. And the worst of all is that they're said to be extremely aggressive. The reason you don't want to look into the trees is because that's where they hide. They're said to camouflage, but according to locals, you can see the trees moving on their own, almost as if there were some sort of monkey swinging on them. And if these devil monkeys spot you looking at the trees and they realize that you've spotted them, that's when you're in trouble. So if you just happen to be looking in the trees and you notice something odd, don't run, just walk away.
So I've got this great idea. Just don't go to the Appalachian Mountains. There's too many weird stuff happening. Yeah, weird stuff. But devil monkeys, that's kind of cool. Like, don't look at them though. Don't look in the trees. Don't whistle. Don't look anything in the eyes. Don't look down. Don't look outside at night. Just don't go to Appalachian Mountains. Just don't go. Don't go. Don't go. Or go and tell me about it.
So, growing up in East Tennessee, we always heard these scary myths about our national parks that talk about a group of people who live deep in the mountains, the Smoky Mountains, essentially, the Appalachian Mountains, who are essentially feral, completely disconnected from society, and are known to do some pretty terrible things to people. I decided that I was going to go out in search for these individuals living deep in their national parks. And as I'm way out on the trail, I look down, and in the mud I find these bare footprints, not like bear as in the animal, but bear as in bare human footprints in a location where they shouldn't be. And then I noticed something kind of moving around in the woods, and then this just guttural sound comes out of the brush, scares the living crap out of me. So the full investigation is going to be over on my YouTube if you want to check that out. But here's what happened. Tell me what you think. I mean, there's no doubt that's a human footprint. Where a human footprint should not be. I've got movement over here.
I can't do it with this one. I can't. Like, it sounded like he had some ghost hunting equipment, but then he found a footprint, and there was probably just somebody out there living there and was like, hey, get away from my area. All right, we got to move on.
Got your lights on? Or are they turn on? Yeah. That's cool. Who's honking there?
Have you ever wondered why people honk their horns while driving through tunnels in the Appalachian Mountains? In the heart of the Appalachian Mountains, tunnels cut through the rugged terrain like veins of the unknown. Locals have a curious habit. They honk their horns as they pass through. At first, it seems like fun, maybe even a simple safety measure. But as Robin's family found out, there's a deeper, darker reason behind it. Legend has it that honking wards off spirits, restless energies said to haunt these tunnels. Travelers who forget to honk have reported strange occurrences, phantom passengers, eerie whispers, or even sudden breakdowns. And when her husband drove through without honking, Robin couldn't help but wonder what might follow them home. Did Robin's husband's silence invite something to linger? The Appalachian Mountains are steeped in lore, their shadows hiding ancient secrets. Some say the spirits are drawn to those who forget to acknowledge them, following them beyond the tunnel's dark embrace. Was this just a harmless family vacation, or did they unknowingly open the door to something far more sinister? Would you dare drive through without honking?
Well, that's interesting. I had never considered that. But do you honk your horn like on the way in to let whatever's there know, hey, I'm not messing around? Or do you honk your horn on the way out to let them know, whoever's on your roof, they need to go? Because maybe you do both. Maybe you do both. I live right by Mount Baldy, and there's a couple of tunnels that lead up to the Baldy Village area. Every single time we've gone up there, we honk the horn in the tunnels just because it's fun. But maybe it's like an ingrained thing where you honk the horn and it just wards off evil whatevers. I don't know. Hey, it's time for part 6 of the 4-hour tape.
While the process of consumption is a painful and lengthy one, we respect the trade-off that comes with the preservation of our species. We also acknowledge, as part of the promise, that substitutes for human life in the form of clones, should we discover that technology in the future, or other living species, will never function as viable alternatives for nourishment, the speaker continued. I didn't need to know this. This whole thing was way too specific for me. Our final major acknowledgement, as part of this agreement, is that we accept, redacted, as the Great Almighty. As the entities we will now refer to as God. God, as an interstellar species, has revealed itself to us, and thus, the continued existence of, redacted, is now the true priority of the people of our planet. We are blessed to play a part in the continuation of God. In God we trust. Amen. The tape then cut to footage of the choir, as the speaker continued. We bless our visitors with this gift. A performance of the national anthems of all major nations of the world will now commence. Audio of a very loud backing track of the Star-Spangled Banner started playing from the video as my stomach sank. The tape showed footage of the choir singing on top of the track. Not sure if it was because they were scared for their lives, but I could really tell they were singing their hearts out. As they sang, the camera continued to pan over the blurry seats. They finished singing the anthem, and suddenly... Fast forwarding. Hell. I had forgotten I was sitting in a room. I had disengaged from the video for a brief moment. I had mentally returned to the present day. This was our world. This was our lives. The men at the front continued fast-forwarding through the tape. It looked like they were skipping through performances of the other national anthems. The fast-forwarding went on for a while. Every small while, it looked like a new choir group was entering the Congress-like room to sing a different national anthem. On and on the tape went. I had to fight the urge to pass out. One of the men at the front of our room, standing next to the TV, started speaking up. We are legally obligated to get to the end of this tape, but you don't need to look at the rest of it. Please feel free to look down, or close your eyes, or grab a snack, he said. I noticed the others seated in the room were taking that advice. Most of them decided to look straight down. For some weird reason, I couldn't look away. The fast-forwarding progressed. On the tape, it was yet another choir group joining to perform an anthem. And then another. And then another. It looked like we were near the end. The fast-forwarding now showed a conversation between the man at the podium, and another man who was whispering in his ear. The man at the podium was vehemently shaking his head. The other man continued whispering.
Wow. Just freaking wow. Okay, so apparently any clones that we have on our planet are not food. which makes me think that these individuals who are being, accused of being clones, perhaps that's being done for a specific reason, so that when these alien things come back, they don't get eaten. What? That's crazy. Oh, and for my religious followers, please don't come after me for this video calling them God, because that's just silly. They're obviously not. But wow, that's crazy. Okay, and I found a part 7, which is the final part, and I'll show you on Wednesday. I'm dying to know what the dude was whispering into the other dude's ear, because that's probably what makes everybody go all gray and old and stuff. I don't know. On that note, thank you so much for sharing your time with me. Please come on back in a couple of days. We're going to watch some new stuff. I'll say different things, and it's going to be fantastic. Until then, have a wonderful day. God bless you. No. Nope. No. I don't care what it is. That's an animal. And animals like that, they eat people. No. But why? Why would you cheat? No. No thanks. Not interested. Thanks. Go back inside. Really? Come on now. I can't with this one. Come on now. Okay. All right, maybe it was somebody out there, living out there, didn't want you finding them. Okay, come on. I'm sorry. Okay. Stop.